All right, good enough, guys. Good.
While Ubuntu waits patiently in Grenada, I've been spending the summer in Toronto, not just on land, but on the water as well, racing another Swan 47 named Till. She belongs to my friend Douglas, one of the finest sailors I've had the pleasure of sailing with. He's the kind of skipper who says little, sails fast, always seems to make the right call, and looks after his crew with quiet confidence.
You're gonna make it, of course. Well, then we got broken pole. Everybody on the high side.
The racing season at Mimico Cruising Club runs from May through September, part of a well-established tradition known for its excellent organization and deep sailing routes. While the Swan 47 isn't exactly designed for short, sharp laps around buoys, we sail her hard, even if we don't expect to win on tight courses. But give her a longer stretch of open water and she truly comes into her own. This year, Till proved her pedigree in the Susan Hood Trophy Race, a 75-mile overnight challenge across Lake Ontario and back. That's where she shines, in steady breeze with smart, patient sailing. What makes racing on Till even better is the crew. Nick, Dave, Dennis, Paul, Bizio, Andy, and Milan have been sailing with Douglas for years. A seasoned, skillful group of sailors and just great guys to be around. The teamwork on board is seamless. Everyone knows their role, stays focused, and carries it out with quiet precision under Douglas's watchful eye. Of course, the occasional mishap happens, but nothing that can't be laughed about over a beer an hour later. Speaking of which, after every race we gather in Till's cozy saloon for a simple but satisfying meal and a cold drink, usually courtesy of Douglas, unless Paul surprises us with one of his gourmet creations. Win or lose, it's always a very good night. At the start of the season, I talked with Skipper about my closest friend Milan and if he could join the crew. Douglas, being the kind of person he is, didn't hesitate, and the rest of the crew welcomed him without question. He's been steady, dependable, and a genuinely great addition to the team. Seeing how naturally it all came together reminded me that good sailors make good crews, but good people make great ones. Douglas didn't become the sailor he is by some chance. He learned ins and outs from his father, Paul, a lifelong seaman with multiple Atlantic crossings and decades of knowledge at sea. Now in his 80s, Paul still joins us on till a couple of times each season. When he steps aboard, it feels special. His presence is steady, his advice quiet and well-timed. On one tack, he turned to me and simply said, "Very good tack." Just that. But coming from Paul, it meant the world, and moments like that stay with you. A few weeks ago, Douglas passed on something special. 3 sails he couldn't use, a mainsail and 2 Genoas. They were gifted to him by a friend who had tragically lost his boat in a fire. The sails, stored safely at the time, survived, quietly waiting for a second chance. Douglas knew the mainsail wouldn't work on till. Her boom is 2 feet too short. But for Ubuntu, with her longer boom, it's a perfect fit. Thanks to Douglas being the generous sailor he is, Ubuntu's sail inventory just got a serious upgrade. No swearing, no invoices, and still enough room left in the crate for a pair of comfy deck seats, because some luxuries matter more than others. All of it is now packed into a wooden shipping crate heading to St. George's, Grenada by an ocean freighter. A little odd, a little practical, and all part of getting ready. Some things are just meant to find you, even if they take the long way around. Back in 2017, I was searching for a Swan 47 of my own and came across a beautiful one for sale in Connecticut. She had that quiet elegance, the kind you don't need to be told she is special. I was drawn to her immediately, but I hesitated, thought about it too long, and by the time my heart caught up with my head, she was gone. Months later, as autumn settled in at Mimico and the season wound down, I saw her again, resting in a cradle in my club, same boat, same name. Douglas, who I didn't know at the time, had found her, brought her north, and given her a new chapter in life on Lake Ontario. The summer after I bought Ubuntu, I asked if I could join Till's crew. Douglas, true to form, took me on, which immediately accelerated my learning curve when it came to sailing and managing a Swan 47. Since then, I've been racing with them every Wednesday, learning the boat in real time, surrounded by capable, seasoned sailors. This young man on deck is Douglas's son, Julian, now a few years into his own sailing journey. Julian races alongside us whenever school allows, bringing energy, curiosity, and a steady hand well beyond his age.
Get ready for the halyard, Milan. Pull it in, Julian, pull it in. Take it under. Down there for 30 more seconds. That's exactly what happened. Well, then, okay, I said 30, you know.
It's been a beautiful run this summer, good sailing, great people, and now a quiet echo of generosity as those sails begin their next chapter aboard Ubuntu. They come from a sailor who lost his boat, but not his love for the sea or for those still out there chasing the horizon. A reminder that even after a loss, the spirit of sailing finds a way to carry on, stitched into new journeys under new skies. As fall sets in and the lake begins to cool, I'm getting ready to head south. Ubuntu is waiting, and thanks to a few thoughtful hands along the way, she'll be just a little more ready for the season ahead. And soon, while Till rests quietly in Mimico's boatyard, tucked in her cradle and secured for the harsh Canadian winter, Ubuntu will carry that spirit south once more, her canvas a little fuller, her story a little richer, and the wind waiting just ahead.